Hey guys, this is 18.2. Welcome back to Zoo Tycoon Complete Collection, DLC Zoo. Last time, we bought magnets and bongos, both of which are animals. Just to be clear there. Why is my olive baboon very sick? Zoosties. Wow. I've got 3 zookeepers. And 9. Come on, you each have 3, basically have 3 exhibits. Anyway, while I do this. Oh. Oops. My original plan for this video was going to be the black buck and the sable antelope, both of which came with the endangered species pack as far as my research showed. And then I went to look for the sable antelope, and I don't have it. And I look at the research, and I've apparently already researched all the endangered animals, so I have no idea why that didn't show up. So I'll save black buck for later. In the meantime, I think it's time to start on some mountainous creatures and switch back to Zoo Tycoon. Let's see. So we are gonna want, I think, over there. So yeah, so instead of handling those, I'm gonna go with 2 animals that are listed in the game but have different colloquial names than are stated. Oh, that was my 10th. So the mountain lion, first off, is this big enough? Yes. So the mountain lion, as Zoo Tycoon calls it, is, at least in the, like, the northwest. Yeah, the Americas are the western continent, so in the northwestern continent, which is really where they live, especially out in the Midwest US, is why is this like seizing? Anyway, yeah, so they are colloquially known as cougars. But mountain lion is the correct common name for the species. So mountain lion is fair. The other one, the reindeer, I will get to when I actually build them. Foliage, rocks, shelter. Yeah, they're North American, and obviously they live in mountains. No surprises there. Sagebush. And I think I've mentioned this in the scenarios, but for the plants that take up one, hang on, one quarter of a grid space, if they like the first plant, then they'll like every other plant that you put there. All right, rocks, and it's feeling crowded because I haven't fixed that yet. Large Highland rock there. Undo. And just, even though it's an educational series, good. Alright, let's see what Zoo Tycoon has to say about the mountain lion. So, mountain lions have the widest distribution of any wild cat, ranging from Canada to South America. Depending on the region, lions, mountain lions may be called pumas, cougars, panthers, painters, catamounts, deer tigers, American lions, or Mexican lions. I forgot about puma. Yeah, pumas and cougars are the ones that I hear the most. I've never heard them called panthers, because that's an entirely different type of animal. Anyway, mountain lions are one of the largest American cats, exceeded in size only by the jaguar. Their coats are a light tawny brown that can have red, gray, or yellow tones. Male mountain lions can weigh between 110 and 200 pounds, and the smaller females can range between 65 and 130 pounds. These cats have a slender build, small heads, and long tails. They have black spots over their eyes, black stripes framing their muzzles, and black tipped ears and tails. This cat can be found in a wide variety of habitats, including mountains, forests, deserts, and tropical jungles, and at elevations ranging from sea level to over 14,000 feet. In captivity, an ideal mountain lion exhibit may simulate the rocky crags of western mountain ranges. In the wild, mountain lions are most prevalent in remote wilderness regions. An adult male mountain lion can have a range of over 100 square miles. They mark the boundaries of their range with scrapes of earth, leaves, and urine, and generally tend to be respectful of each other's territory. I'd like to see how they define respectful. I'm assuming that means unless they really need to, they won't try and enter someone else's territory, even as just a dominance assertion thing. Like most cats, adult mountain lions are solitary creatures, apart from a 2-week mating period. Cubs can be born at any time of year, with a litter of 2 to 3 cubs being typical in the wild. Cubs will remain with their mother for up to 2 years. Deer are often a staple of this cat's diet, although they will hunt a wide variety of prey, including bighorn sheep, elk, coyotes, wild hogs, beavers, raccoons, porcupines, hares, squirrels, birds, fish, mice, and even insects such as grasshoppers. I refuse to believe they actually hunt insects and grasshoppers. I'm assuming it means if they have the opportunity to quickly grab one, they'll eat it. Or maybe cubs will do it, but anyway. Mountain lions will feed on a large kill for several days, hiding it from other predators by burying it with dirt, leaves, or snow. Typically, mountain lions are most active at dusk and dawn, but they are capable of roaming and hunting at any time of day or night. Due to eyes that are proportionately larger than those of other carnivores, mountain lions have extraordinary vision. They can move remarkably fast over short distances and can make leaps of up to 15 feet high or 40 feet long from a standing position. In the wild, mountain lions are elusive creatures, avoiding people as much as possible. They are generally quiet, although their vocalizations include growls, hisses, whistles, roars, and high-pitched piercing screams. Yep. Mountain lions will generally flee from barking dogs. It is hypothesized that sometime in their evolutionary past they were preyed upon by barking animals. Now they prey upon the barking animals. Circle of life. Wait, wrong lions. Mountain lions do well in captivity. They become tame easily and have been trained to perform in motion pictures and circuses. I like how they say motion pictures instead of movies, because technically they're actually called motion pictures. Despite having no natural predators, mountain lions are threatened by the loss of their habitat and hunting. While some subspecies of mountain lion are endangered, such as the Florida panther and the Yuma puma, or even possibly extinct, such as the eastern cougar, conservation measures in California have resulted in an increase in the mountain lion population in this area. And actually, the mountain lion is a fun exercise in what the U.S. Environmental Protection Act considers to be a stable population, as to whether they have a stable population in the territory they're currently at, or if they have a stable population in the territory they used to have, which basically nothing gets back to. So it's it's really fascinating, and I highly recommend looking up uh, the Environmental Protection Act and animal territories, because because it's fascinating, and it helps deal with helps understand some of the uh, bureaucratic parts of animal conservation. It's not all as cut and dry as we're losing animals, let's make more of them. Sometimes it's okay, do we have enough? Or do we need more to be considered they have enough? And it's entirely regionally dependent. Okay, I'll stop. So, uh, mountain lions, they didn't mention, have a lifespan of between 8 to 20 years, depending on the subspecies. And it mentioned, as the game mentioned, they are crepuscular, so most active at dawn and dusk. But some species, or some subspecies are nocturnal. Environmentally, as of last year when I did the research, I really should update this eventually. Probably after I finish this subset of the Zoo Tycoon animals, I'll update everything. They were of least concern. Again, their main threats are not humans hunting or really too much getting into the territory. The issues is that the big issue is that humans are hunting their prey more than is sustainable. So, continuing on, their preferred food, I mean, it went through a very comprehensive list there. However, if I recall correctly, for the food they eat, okay, they mention wild animals, but mountain lions are considered a pest for a reason. They also will gladly go after livestock. It's almost as if livestock are bred to be meatier than their wild brethren. Fancy that. Their only natural predator is the grizzly bear. That is, in the regions where you have subspecies with the grizzly bear. Because the grizzly bear hunts and kills and eats everything. Because it's a grizzly bear. And lastly, one of the defining features of the mountain lion as opposed to other big cats is a particularly strong uh, jaw, particularly strong bite force. Which makes sense given that you can't just like bite, let your prey move a bit because you might not be able to get back to it. You need to be able to bite and kill, or bite and drag it down until it dies. So yeah, that is the mountain lion, also known as the cougar. And this next one, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in one of the Zoo Tycoon scenarios. They need a pretty big area. The caribou. Now, if you look, you won't find caribou. But caribou is the correct name. Zoo Tycoon lists it as reindeer because reindeer is the more common name. Okay, I don't think it needs fresh water. Well, let me check that. Yeah. Needs snow. So, yes, the reindeer are. Reindeer. Oh my word. English. Reindeer is the colloquial name for the caribou. Popularized by, well, lots of Christmas mythology. They are not to be confused with uh, elk or moose, which are also similar animals in the area. Moose are gigantic, and elk are smaller, basically. Although the caribou is a lot bigger, than you might think it would be. Rocks, foliage, shelter. Yeah, the reindeer. A small reindeer is about 5 feet 3 inches tall. I think that's measured up to shoulder. and they can go up to 7 feet tall. Plus, then they have the horns. So yeah, they're not a small animal. Oh, right, they like the holiday tree, and it's February. And you can only get the holiday tree during the holiday. Here, I have some snowy trees. Oh, right, rocks are programmed correctly. They do live in herds, which is relevant because, well, that affects the in-game desires. So, the reindeer. Now, there are a few things wrong with this picture. And yeah, you have Santa and his reindeer. That's fine. Full moon, fine. Got a Christmas tree. Got the reindeer. That's fine. That is not how reindeer move around. They do not generate yellow sparkles and use them to propel their hooves. The flying reindeer move more like the one in the sky, leaving no trail. If you ever find a flying reindeer, follow it because you'll find Santa's workshop, and then somehow you need to escape from Santa Claus's view so that way you can come back and tell us all exactly where it is. Otherwise, feel free to hunt reindeer because they're caribou. Just don't call them reindeer when you're hunting them because people get sad. Immortalized as Santa Claus's beasts of burden, reindeer have been domesticated for more than 2,000 years. Reindeer live in Arctic and subarctic regions, predominantly in Finland, Sweden, Norway, and Russia. They have also been introduced in North America. They are well adapted to the Arctic tundra and the rugged evergreen forest that borders it. The species that reindeer belong to are well known for their marathon-like migrations, which they undertake to ensure a steady supply of food. Caribou is the North American name for reindeer. Yeah. Typically, caribou are considered to be wild, while reindeer are considered domesticated. There are some anatomical differences between caribou and reindeer, but these are quite minor. Kind of like how there are anatomical differences between wild boar and pig, because they're the same species. And yes, if you look at it, the domesticated pig is the same species as one of the wild species of wild boar. And I admit, when I first heard it, I didn't believe it, even though the source was trustworthy, and I looked it up. It if pigs go into the wild, their boorish traits will come back because the boar traits are dominant. Anyway, reindeer diets consist mostly of so-called reindeer moss, though they are opportunistic eaters, and in summer months they also feed on grasses, fungus, various plants, and leaves. In zoos where suitable grazing areas are not large enough, many reindeer subsist on hay and grain. Typically, reindeer and caribou thrive in large nomadic herds. These herds can migrate upwards of 500 miles looking for food. Why are my dogs not... Oh, they probably bred too much. Reindeer and caribou are strong swimmers, due in part to their muscular build, but also because their hooves are shaped to function as strong paddles. and their two-layer coats provide them some measure of buoyancy in the air. Sorry, no, they don't. They are not buoyant in the air. That's Santa's subspecies. They get some measure of buoyancy in the water, as well as the insulation needed to survive in very cold temperatures. Reindeer have gained widespread domesticated status, being used as pack animals and farmed for milk, meat, and their hides. There are over 3 million domesticated reindeer spread over northern Eurasia and Alaska. In some parts of the world, particularly Arctic region, where whole economies revolve around their reindeer stock. Reindeer are born for speed. A reindeer calf can walk within 1 hour of birth and can outrun a human after only 1 day of development. So if you're ever going to challenge a reindeer to a race, make sure it's one that is newly born but hasn't been alive for even a day. So you have about a 20-hour window to challenge a reindeer to a race if you want to win. Fully developed reindeer have keen senses of smell and good hearing, but their sense of sight is not well developed. Reindeer are the only species of deer where both sexes have antlers. They grow new antlers every year. Wolves prey on caribou and reindeer throughout the year, though especially in the winter months. In spring, summer, and fall, reindeer must worry about bears. Calves are susceptible to smaller predators as well. Golden eagles have been known to hunt them during the early summer. Now, I would like to quickly remind you, eagles are flippin' huge. They're not like tiny, because even a small reindeer is rather large. If you think of them as the size of a hawk, they're not. They're probably 3 to 4 times size, depending on the species. Anyway, and lynx are natural predators in the fall when caribou migrate into forested areas. Humans have hunted caribou for many thousands of years. Yeah, reindeer are the bottom of the food chain. Everything wants to eat reindeer because, well, they have a high meat to bone ratio. That's what determines whether something's good food or not for anything that eats meat. And that's why domesticated animals are uh, that's what domesticated animals tended to be domesticated for, either directly or indirectly, since work animals you want them to be more muscular, which also leads to more meat. So, other things not mentioned. Uh, Reindeer range anywhere from 130 to 700 pounds. That's not quite half a ton, but it's getting up there. They live 12 to 15 years. They are, at least the wild reindeer, are vulnerable, but again, they're a domesticated species, so they're not really endangered. Again, barring the bureaucratic stuff, which again, highly recommend. I recommend looking at. I don't recommend getting into bureaucracy. Just to be clear there. Um, yeah, they survive on mostly grass, herbs, and berries, in addition to what they call reindeer moss. Um, and more specifically for what the reindeer are domesticated for, they are domesticated for their meat, furs, milk. All those were mentioned. Reindeer blood is also harvested, as is the sinew, and presumably the bones are also used. Um, given given traditional uh, domestication practices done by I don't I know you have the Alaskan Inuit. I don't know the equivalent in northern Eurasia. It might also be Inuit. Uh, you use every part of the animal. The difference is reindeer can be domesticated, while like the American Indians, uh, you can't domesticate buffalo. They are, as a quote from one of my favorite educational YouTubers, they are tanks on hoofs. Reindeer are, because of their herd structure as well as their sweet spot size, have been domesticated, and basically every part gets used. So yes, that is those are the two animals we're going over today. We had the mountain lion slash cougar slash puma, and the reindeer slash caribou slash maybe reindeer and caribou aren't the same thing, but they are. So please remember to like or dislike and or comment and or subscribe as the algorithm demands. But for now, this has been 18.2, and what did that polar bear do? I've never seen that animation. Anyway, this has been 18.2, and I will see you guys next time.